Hello everyone, we are Team for a Good Cause and we created Charlotte, a Chrome web extension to help persons with disabilities browse the web with ease. Our community partner is SG and Able. I'll now introduce the team. I'm Jared, and these are my teammates, Wei Yang, Zeyu, Sebastian, and Zhi Yang. So our problem statement is, many websites are not accessible to persons with disabilities.
So we did our initial research and we found out that there were 2.2 billion people that have near or distance vision impairment. Like what the W3C director, Tim Berners-Lee said, the power of the web is in its universality, accessed by everyone regardless of disabilities and essential impact. So we realized that solutions such as physical screen readers may be cost prohibitive or inaccessible in instances such as a public computer in a library. Furthermore, the broad spectrum of visual impairment means that individual needs may differ, which is why we created Charlotte.
So we have come up with a solution, an all-in-one browser extension with an array of accessibility tools, and we call it Charlotte. Charlotte is an AI-powered browser extension with various accessibility tools. So what makes Charlotte so easy and accessible? It is free for download, it can be conveniently used on public computers, and it is able to sync preferences across devices through the cloud.
So who is Charlotte for? Charlotte is not only for users with visual impairments, but also those with cognitive conditions like dyslexia or ADHD, because those might result in them having some difficulty in focusing on visual content. So Charlotte has many options. There's text-to-speech, image captioning, font changes regarding your sizes or the font styles, easy navigation with keyboard shortcuts, high contrast, and also customizable cursor sizes.
Okay, so right now I'm gonna do a live demo of the functionalities of Charlotte. So, okay. Can you see that I'm on another page now?
Yep.
Okay, so right now I have Charlotte installed. So Charlotte is actually on the Chrome Web Store, and anyone can install it very easily. And right now I'm going to go through some of the features of Charlotte. So for example, you can see here one of the main features is the text-to-speech feature. So we can actually customize the voice speed and the voice pitch that we want the user to be able to use, and also customize the so-called like this, the voice, the speaker as well. And so the user can customize this, and there will be...
Hi, I am Charlotte.
So there will be a preview for the user to actually see how the voice would be like. And there are a couple of ways to activate this. So we understand that, so for example, one of the first ways is through a context menu, but we also understand that this can be quite difficult to activate, especially for people our target audience, who might have different forms of visual impairment. So actually another way would be, one way that we will be able to use this extension is through keyboard shortcuts. So actually right now I'm using my left and right arrow keys to navigate the different pieces of text that are on this website. And if I click this read on highlight option, what happens is that
this domain is for using illustrative examples in documents. You may use this domain in literature without prior coordination or asking for permission.
What happens is that it actually reads whatever that I'm on, and also there's this highlight elements feature which will allow you to highlight whichever piece of text that you are on or whichever element that you are on through hovering over it. So you will automatically detect that I'm hovering over this piece of text, and if I'm again using a read on highlight feature,
Example domain.
Yeah, so
example domain. This domain is for using illustrative examples in documents. You may use this domain in literature without prior coordination or asking for permission.
So this
more information.
What I'm hovering over. And so another interesting feature is changing the default font size of web pages. So this will make it easier for people with, let's say, mild visual impairment to be able to see some text more clearly, and also high contrast, which will allow users to be able to differentiate the different colors more easily. And one more interesting feature is, so actually if we go ahead and look at some of the websites that maybe we will browse on a daily basis. So for example, Straits Times, right? This kind of fonts, Times New Roman, for example, can be quite inaccessible. So these are actually called serif fonts, which you see the curved edges are kind of inaccessible to some people. So some fonts that make it better are things like Verdana, which is actually a serif, sans serif font. And these fonts actually are generally regarded as more accessible to people who, not just people with visual impairment, but also people with cognitive disorders like dyslexia. And there's also this open dyslexic font, which is specially designed for users with dyslexia to be able to understand the text more clearly. And one more thing that I want to show is the image captioning feature. So right now, you can see that some of these images are quite small. So what happens is that we actually have an AI backend that will be able to read the image and kind of give a rough description of what it thinks the image is about. So this can be quite helpful for users who encounter small images, which they are not really able to make out the exact details. But with this, we hope that users can be able to get a general understanding of what the image is about, and as a result, what the context of the website is about. And the last thing that I want to show is perhaps the focus ruler, which is something that might help some people, especially people who have trouble focusing on certain elements of the text, to be able to block out the rest of the distractions on the website and just focus on whatever it is that they are reading right now. So you can see that a lot of these features are very customizable to suit each specific end user's needs. And I think the main power of this is when it comes to being able to sync your preferences in the cloud, so that, for example, like maybe I can set this up at home with the help of a family member. And then if I go to like a public library, if the public library is able to have this installed, it's very easy to install this in any computer with a Chrome browser. Then I'll be able to use the exact same preferences that I have set at home, and I'll be able to use the web exactly how I want to use it. Yeah, so I think that's all that I want to demo for now. And guess we can, sorry. Yeah, actually, I guess we can go to the Q&A right now. Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation for Gatecourse. Okay, so maybe one question I had was actually what was the inspiration behind naming your platform Charlotte? Is there like a backstory to it?
Yeah, I'm the one who came up with the name. The backstory was we wanted something that conveyed the idea of the web being accessible to everyone. So one thing that we came upon that hit on us was Charlotte's Web. It's a book that has been quite widely read, and most of us read it in primary school as part of our literature. So we thought this would kind of easy access, and it gives across a very approachable meaning to our extension.
Oh yes, okay. I read Charlotte's Web as well. Okay, that's quite interesting. Maybe another question I had was that if you guys had faced like any big difficulties when trying to create this platform.
Hi, I'm from SIT. Hi, my name is Dan.
Or like, what was your?
You guys?
Yes.
What was your hardest? Yeah, what was your biggest challenge? Maybe.
I would say the biggest challenge was working remotely, because most of us as we are a group of 5, and throughout the process of us attempting to deal with this, attempting to produce this extension, we had to actually work separately. So to do that, we actually use this software called Git. It's a version control system, and that's the inspiration for our team name as well. I think another challenge we faced was we were unable to liaise with our target audience as well as we would have liked. So in response to the question from Quack Bin, we read you, we actually managed to interface with our community partner, Mr. Justin Xiao from SG Enable. So as part of our user acceptance testing, we had him and some of his colleagues help us check if the features that we implemented were not only usable, but also something that we could deal with, something that we would be useful to our end users. So you saw initially our features such as the read on context menu, right? We thought that was a good idea, but we realized upon user acceptance testing that our end users were actually not able to activate that function due to their visibility. So this was something that we would have not otherwise been aware of, but thanks to our user acceptance testing, we were able to refine our product to deal with that.
Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing. Maybe one more question I had was like, did you do specific research for different kinds of groups of people in order to come up with the functions that your platform can do? So for example, just now during the demo, you're talking about how you have like a focus ruler for some people who have difficulty like focusing on certain aspects of like text. Yeah, so just wanted to know whether you guys specifically like research on different groups of people or...
So the inspirations for our extension came from a few sources. One is the WCAG, it's the World Wide Web Accessibility Guidelines. These are a set of guidelines that define some features a web page should have in order to be more accessible to people who are browsing it. So we found that most websites out there actually do not follow these guidelines or diverge quite widely from the recommended standards. So Charlotte aims to allow users to kind of enforce these standards on web pages without needing the web page developers themselves needing to change it. Additionally, some features like the focus ruler, they aren't technically part of WCAG, but we did our own research as well. We asked some of our friends and other people we know who have impairments that might prevent them from fully experiencing the web. But I felt that most of the things that we did were actually we saw a lot of existing features out there. There are screen reader extensions. There are image captioning extensions. There are also text-to-speech extensions. But we did not find that we did not find an extension that provided all of them in one extension. So that was the main point that we felt could add value.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing. Okay, that's all the time we have for Gatecourse, but thank you to all of you for presenting and also answering our questions.